This full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces is going to have huge effects on you personally, but also the collective energies. This is a time where illusions are going to crumble and be shattered. And this shattering of illusions can be disorienting. It can feel heavy. It can feel like something's going on, but you can't really put your finger on it. There's going to be ups and downs, because when these illusions are shattered and when we get these glimpses of reality that we've never seen before, it's both terrifying, but also liberating. It feels as though we are going to see something that we have never seen before, or maybe we'll finally actually perceive what has been in front of us all of this time. And we're going to understand how we can maneuver and continue down our path with all of these kinds of strange energies that have been operating in our life. There's also going to be a lot of distracting forces at this time, entities and energies that don't want you to pay attention to these glimpses of reality. There could be moments where you get interrupted or disrupted from your focal point, from what you're focusing on in your life, your path, your dreams, your goals, or certain downloads you're getting, information you're receiving. And Spirit is saying this distracting energy is all part of a certain kind of frantic chaos from energies that don't want to lose control. Okay, so you could find that energies, people in your life who were quiet before, or maybe always kind of created a little bit of noise here and there, suddenly ramp up in their noise level, and they're bombarding you, or they're suddenly reappearing or calling you or trying to cause chaos in your life. This could just be even energy that you're picking up on. You're like, I'm chill. What's going on? Why am I feeling all of this tugging at my energy or pulls in different directions? It's to get you to avoid probing and digging into these cracks in the illusion that you are seeing and perceiving, and that you are actually opening up. You're cracking open further this light. I'm seeing like a light coming through a crack, and it's like you're pulling it apart. You're pulling the cracks apart so that you can see the light that has always been there, but has been shadowed by other things that have been going on. Okay, distractions is really what I'm getting. So I'm not going to talk too much about the actual astrology and what it all means right now with the lunar eclipse, but I did get something about Pluto and Pluto being out of bounds and that being important for you. And what I got with Pluto is that there's going to be this kind of disorienting energy. There's going to be a revelation that there's ungovernable things that you can't change or govern yourself, or that even larger forces can't change or control. You're going to see that there's these ungovernable effects on life, and your destiny. Things have already kind of been set in motion, set in place, and it's like the ball's rolling. Now, I don't feel like this is something to be nervous or scared of, but you're going to see a scrambling of energies of different people or different institutions, different media organizations, different people in your life trying to direct where this ball is rolling to or how big it gets, but they can't. Okay? Pluto's not playing that game of you get to control whoever you is, the outside world, right? It's actually Spirit who's in control, or a higher level force, we could even say. It's destiny in motion, okay? And the ability to maneuver and control this destiny is limited at this time. This is what I'm getting. I also got there's going to be a creative reorganization. There's a certain level of resilience that's in the air. There's an awakening to liberation, awareness of foundations crumbling. And then spiders are a big omen or symbol that is relevant for this current energy. I've seen a lot of spiders myself, notable spiders, like bigger ones or odd looking spiders, not your average house spider. There's something different about these spiders. And I also got that you may see a lot of vacant webs with no spider in it. But that doesn't mean the spider isn't around. The spider is there watching the web. Okay, I feel like this is a good omen. I don't feel like this is something that's foretelling some kind of doom. I think these spiders and these vacant webs are you in a lot of ways. It's like you're watching and waiting to see what will be caught in the web. And then you can go and use it to your advantage. Or maybe even survive off of what you catch. It's like people are unaware of how much you know and that you're watching and you're perceiving. Okay? And then I got that I circled the word dignity as one of the most important things to hold on to during this transit or during this time. Well, let's say the next 4 months. Dignity, keep that front and center in your mind, to hold on to your dignity. And that could mean being honest when it's hard to be honest, following your own personal morals, ethics, and values, learning how to sustain yourself in different ways, whether that's actually physically or mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And then also making connections with those that you love and care about and can trust. And I heard mending fences there. So that could be for some of you, it's time to mend a fence, only if that resonates. Okay, so let's get into the cards and see what else comes through for this energy. It's quite intense. These big collective themes that I'm picking up on and that other people are talking about too, although I haven't listened to too many astrologers and what they're saying. Maybe it's similar, maybe it's not, I don't know. But the themes that I'm picking up on seem to be having a personal impact on you too, as well as a collective significance. Okay, and that's not always the case in my readings, but this time it is. You know, sometimes you're doing something much different than what's happening with the collective, but here I feel like you're deeply and directly impacted. Okay, and some of the people around you are going to begin to awaken to certain truths and realities, and it's going to be painful for them and maybe painful for you to watch as well. We talk about awakening and higher levels of consciousness, and sometimes these ideas or these experiences are painted out to be these beautiful moments of peace and serenity. But in all actuality, when we wake up from a deep hypnosis or slumber, it's quite disorienting and painful and disruptive, and we have to reorient ourselves to the truth. And those truths can be hard to see and to know. So not all awakenings, I'd say very few of them, are immediately felt in the energy of peace, love, and serenity, although we can get there. Okay, let's see. We have the card Wind. Another one wanted to come out here. What else? Wind. And the Sorcerer, information coming through, maybe literally through the wind. But I also get this sense of the Sorcerer, you, distributing, or I'm hearing the word advocating, but it's like you're blowing out kind of like the wind, like your breath, into the collective energies, like you're distributing your wisdom in some way, or your magic. Let's get further in and see what else comes through. Like your energy is being carried forward, carried through. To what though? Knowledge, yeah, that's what I'm feeling. So now is an opportune time for you to share your knowledge and your wisdom. And it doesn't have to be like publicly on some kind of platform or maybe at work or something like that. It could be energetically in meditation, or just concentrating on something that you want someone to know, some deep truth, some deep knowledge you have, and focusing on giving them that knowledge. Okay. And it's likely that it will be carried off into the energetic field to that person, as I'm seeing it in these cards. I'm hearing something about telepathy. It's like there's a possibility for a telepathic underground network where information can be shared with one another beyond these distracting energies and entities in a way that they cannot perceive. I'm getting a very specific message, okay, and this is not going to be for everyone, but there's a connection you have with someone, and there's a force like in between. I'm seeing like this energy in between, or maybe governing, ungovernable, right? Like governing this connection or this union or whatever this is for you. And it's been able to kind of like manipulate or distract or puppeteer some of the energies that are flowing between you and this other person. And now's a time where it's like you can go underneath it, ungovernable, and communicate with this other person in a way where this other energy can't see. Whoa, that's kind of interesting here. Ungovernable effects on life and destiny. Yeah, it's like a secret form of communication. The wind in the trees, you know, most people don't stop and listen and hear what is actually being said by spirit, by you, by your higher self, and maybe someone else's higher self. For some of you, you could even have a closer connection with the other side at this time. Yeah, there's all of these underground channels and networks of information that are happening energetically, or maybe actually in a literal sense, but knowledge is being shared outside or beyond the purview of this like this kind of like monster entity force that wants to control. And this has to do with Pluto being out of bounds. Interesting. And it's in Aquarius too, right? Okay. Which is collective energies. Let's see. Let's keep going. Tell me about this. What do I need to see here, Spirit? Starfish, wishes and sensitivity. Again, this is giving me energy of like something hidden. You know, the starfish, it's not always, well, especially when we don't know, prior to knowing that a starfish is an actual living sentient thing, we don't always perceive it like that, or children maybe don't always perceive it like that until they're told. Sensitivity, five points here, a pentagram. Okay, let me see. The energy is very sensitive right now, and I feel like you've been wishing. Well, what have you been wishing for? I'm seeing a cart and a horse. I don't know. What have you been wishing for? I feel like now's the opportune time to activate that wish. Like energetically, it has something to do with air and wind and breath. Like breath work could be important. We have roots coming out. The roots. Okay, one more, Spirit, and then we'll get into the tarot. Tell me about the roots a little bit more. Jade Orchard. I'm going to see what they say about this in the book. But this wind in the trees, it's like there's something at the root of these trees that is now like activated for you. I hope I'm explaining this right. It's like I'm seeing the energy, the psychic field flowing through the trees, going through the trees. And maybe it always did, but there was something at the root of the tree that was never able to like rise up into the leaves in order for this energy to like activate, to hit, and then pass on. Does that make any sense? Probably not. Okay, but that's what I'm seeing. So there's something that's been activated. You know, this tree could be a literal trees out there, or it could be symbolic of you, or the tree of life, you know. So take it as it resonates. Let's see. Jade Orchard, new beginnings, positive change, optimism, could also represent a younger woman. Okay, and I'm just going to quickly, since I'm here, look at roots. The answers are below the surface. You will have to dig to reveal secrets, hidden intentions, and root causes. Start asking questions. That's it. It's like the things that you used to have to dig for, the things that were hidden underneath the surface are now you can see them. You're able to perceive them. it's like you don't have to go digging anymore for them. They're right there. I'm hearing fundamental. I don't know. Something fundamental is becoming clear to you. What matters most to you is clear to you. Okay, let's get the tarot out. Now, I do believe you're coming through as this starfish here. Like, you are the starfish. Can you give me one more on the starfish here? The hangman. Wow. That is so Piscean. These two energies together. And there's something about them that is working together. There's like this calmness, a stillness, the ability to pause and see. You know, the hangman is a new perspective. Taking a different position in order to gain a new perspective. And that position that you're taking here as the hangman is one which others are not taking. So you could feel like you're kind of on the outs, but it's not so much like feeling left out or feeling disregarded. It's more like you feel like, whoa, I can see what's happening here. I kind of understand the complexity of this situation, or I can see psychically, maybe I can see where this is going, but others are not able to see it. And look at you, you're just pouring your tea, sipping your tea, defying gravity here. I'm hearing cosmically. Let me see, disorienting. Awareness of foundations crumbling, no more illusions. Resilience. Glimpses of reality, pieces that you've never seen. And it is because you're allowing yourself to channel these energies, to pick up these energies, to be sensitive to these energies, to these downloads of knowledge. So connecting with nature, especially looking at the symbolism of different things that you come across in nature, will be really helpful for you. Paying attention to your dreams and the symbols and archetypes that come through in your dreams are going to be important for you. They're messages. There's magic in the air, for sure. And if you felt like you've kind of been out of touch with that kind of magic, and I can resonate to this. Just the other day I was thinking like, something's been like off a little bit. Like that special sparkle in the sky has been kind of gone for a little bit. You know, there's been something distracting, like a looming kind of energy. It's going to clear up. Encounters with the moon, I'm hearing. Maybe you're going to see the lunar eclipse, and that will be significant for you, or encounter the moon in a different way. And moon represents emotions and intuition, encounters with the moon. This is really a time to be excited and dignified. So part of holding on to your dignity is to not let go of that special connection you have to spirit, to source, to the universe, to connection with higher levels of consciousness. Don't let go of it. There's a lot going on to make you let go of it, to get you to let go of that, whether those are people in your life or other things that are happening. But you just hang in there, and look, you're hanging in there in the trees. Your hair could be significant. And as I always say, if you don't have hair on your head, maybe somewhere else on your body, pay attention to it, treat it nicely. If you're completely hairless, get a cat or a dog because hair is a spiritual antenna. Okay. So let's see. Let's see what else we get. What is it that you don't see coming on this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces? What does the collective not see coming? 8 of Cups. Up, up, and away. The moon here. Up, up, and away. So you're moving away from something. Let's get a little bit more on what this is. What are you moving away from? The Four of Pentacles. It could be feeling like this sense, I'm getting a sense of routine, or having to do things in a particular expected way in order to keep yourself safe. There's a feeling like I need security. I need to keep myself afloat during these rough times, whether that's emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, financially. It's like I need to hold on to something that keeps me grounded. But what you're holding on to, I feel like it's not really helping anymore. You're releasing up and away from some sense of security. Because you have, because what? Hold on. Because why? Two of Wands. There's a certain level of bravery that's coming online for you. It's like you realize you have a decision, a choice. There's a different path. You don't have to hold on to the same old. Same old patterns in a relationship, same old thought forms, same job, same friends, same house, whatever it is for you. It's like, wait, there's another way. There's a different path available to me, up and away. And this is the reality that you didn't perceive before, but was always there for you. But you had to take your time here and connect with yourself on a deeper level in order to actually perceive this reality. So some of you are going to let go of something, and it feels hard. This could even be like a physical item of some sort, but you're going to let go of something, and it frees you. It's liberation, right? It's part of your awakening. You let something actually crumble so that you can go up and away from the devastating situation of what was and no longer is. Okay, let's see the opportunity for you. Two of Swords. I was just talking about this card the other day. I was talking about this card with my mom, actually. And now it's coming through. And the word impasse came up yesterday, and that's immediately what I thought of when I saw it, an impasse, the opportunity. Well, what was creating an impasse for you? What was keeping you in a standstill that didn't feel, I'm hearing melodic, but felt hypnotic, okay, that didn't feel like it was leading you somewhere better, but a standstill that was detrimental to you. I don't know why Spirit keeps giving me this, like they want me to really differentiate between this feeling of being in a liminal zone, in a standstill, in a pause, in a reflection period that is meditative, that is reflective, that is spiritual, and I'm hearing that is dense, like in a good way, like you're getting into the density of the energy to understand it, versus a standstill that's one of fear, confusion, not feeling confident, being at some kind of impasse. And I feel like this is a shift that you're making at this time. It's like you're realizing, if I can't make a move or I don't know which way to go, it's not necessarily a bad thing as long as I'm using that energy to my benefit. As long as I'm taking that moment of like, okay, we've all been there, right? As long as I'm taking that energy and using it to my advantage, rather than looking at it as something that's holding me back. And once you perceive that energy that way, that's how you transmute it. So there's an opportunity here for you to look at something in your life that's at an impasse, that you cannot make a decision about, or that you're having a very tough time choosing which way, or really landing with an emotion in yourself, like this is how I actually feel about it, maybe you're unsure, this is an opportunity to look at that. And once you look at that moment of like indecision and what it means and where it's coming from, and maybe it's not all that complicated, you just don't want to actually do what you know you need to do. Once you look at it, there's a movement that happens. And I feel like some of this knowledge that's coming through from spirit, in the wind, is helping you perceive what has been keeping you stuck. Let's see what else is in this card here. Yeah, because we have this mermaid figure on the card, and she can be both in the land and the sea. The starfish and the roots, which, the starfish can too. So I feel like there's more doors open to you than you realize. And this is part of the impasse. It's like you realize you belong in more than one place, or maybe you feel like you belong with more than one person. I'm picking up for some of you. So the opportunity is to look at that a little bit more. Let me get one of these cards. Tell me more about this opportunity. Concealment. Yes, what have you been concealing from yourself that's been causing an impasse? Well, can I know, Spirit? What has been concealed? We know it's going to be revealed, but what has been concealed? What energy? 5 of Wands. It could be a fear of conflict, or that there is inner conflict, or that you're going separate ways from something. The root of a conflict has been concealed. Okay, this might be different for each of you, most likely, but let's see if I can get some information on this root of the conflict. Actually, let's use these cards. What's the root? Thank you. The lower world. Yeah. Okay, so it is a little bit different for each of you, because the lower world is card about our subconscious realm. And finding out what's in there and what's holding us back. So there's a root of a conflict that has been creating a little bit of an impasse. And during this lunar eclipse, it's your opportunity to find out what that root is. And I don't feel like it's going to be hard, because like I saw with the tree, it's like whatever's at the root has now come up the branches, up the trunk, up the branches, into the leaves. The wind is coming through, and you can hear what the root is. You just have to be perceptive and aware that the message is actually there for you. And it's coming from something deep in the recesses of your mind, in your subconscious mind, some conflict you've had, some wound maybe, but it's coming up for you. This is a really big turning point in your life. I really feel that. So embrace it. It's what you've been after all. Okay, let's see what the challenge is, Spirit. 2 of Pentacles, lots of 2s. 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, 2, 2, 2. Oh, I like the sunflower with this eye. Sunflower seeds could be something that you want to have more of. I don't know what the thing is in sunflower seeds that's nutritious for you, but that's coming through. Is it? I think pumpkin seeds is magnesium. I don't know for sunflower seeds. 2 of Pentacles for the challenge. Well, yeah, this is like definitely a point of departure, right? Things are shattering. Foundations are crumbling. Insights are coming. But the foundation hasn't fully dissolved, right? Things haven't fully... the masks haven't fully come off. They're slipping though. Or the curtain hasn't fully been pulled back, but it's starting to. So there's this like shift happening. The energy's changing. And it's challenging to hold both realities simultaneously, or to hold the reality and the illusion at the same time, because they're still in operation. You know, the illusions are still in operation, as is the realities. So how do you hold both at the same time? It's hard. And this is one of the hardest things when you start on any kind of spiritual journey, soul journey, even with yourself, is you realize, I have to operate in this world. It doesn't really make sense. That's oppressive and built on a lot of violence. And I have to live in it. I have to participate in it. I have to pay my taxes. I have to do the 9 to 5, whatever it is, right? Like I'm a part of it. But at the same time, my soul is connected to something so much more that feels inaccessible, that hasn't arrived yet. And holding that balance is difficult. And it's one of the things that comes up in relationships. I'm seeing it as like this stem, like breaking up. It's like something coming up from the cement, like a stem or a flower, or something cracking apart two people. It's like there's a realization of a deeper soul connection, but then there's the everyday realities that two people have to navigate and deal with. And these realities are constructed by outside forces that are trying to oppress. And so it places a real big burden on our connections when we have to deal with those things, even though our soul knows that that's not really what's at stake. What's at stake is the actual soul connection, not the 3D material incompatibilities that we might have with someone else. So the challenge is holding that balance between these two worlds that we're perceiving, that we're becoming aware of. And that is affecting you, right? The sunflower, right? The sunflowers turn to the sun. And as you turn to the sun, illumination, growth, you see. You see something you haven't seen before. So tell me more about why this is the challenge, Spirit. Change, exactly. Change and cut ties. So once you see some of the illusions and the false foundations, it's time to make a decision. Are you going to stand there at the top of this cliff forever holding these two realities, or two, I don't even want to say two realities because one's an illusion, right? Are you going to hold them and keep yourself there? Or are you going to go up, up, and away to a different timeline? What are you going to do? It's a challenge. You have to cut ties in order to make a change. And you'll know what you need to cut ties with. But just in case you don't, let's pull a card. What do you need to cut ties with? 8 of Swords. Whatever it is that keeps you going around and around in your mind, and this looks like the blood moon, which is the eclipse coming up, keeps you from seeing what's really there. There's something that keeps you from seeing what's really there. And it's this continuous thought form that is holding you back. And you need to cut ties with it. Now, again, it's probably going to be different for each of you. But this is like the energy to investigate what that is and to see it as the lie that it is. Meaning that whatever it is that is telling you you have to sustain it even though it hurts, you don't. That's an old belief, that you have to hold on to something that hurts you. Let me just ring this bell. I usually do it to clear the energy, but I heard call in the energy. Something's changing. Maybe the way that you're practicing something. Hold on, there's something else here. It has to do with holding on to something that hurts you, and you feeling like it's your duty to do that. Maybe so that someone isn't alone in their pain and you're there with them. That could be something, that you were taught at a very young age. You couldn't emotionally abandon a parental figure, for example. You had to be there in their pain with them. And that's carried through for you in your adult life. Could be. Doesn't have to be that. Or maybe you have a little bit of a savior complex, which could be from the same issue that I just talked about. But there's something there. I don't know what it is exactly for everyone, but there's some belief that you have to hold on to some pain. It could even be your own pain. Who am I without this trauma? Who am I without this constant battle that I have about this particular thing in my life? It's come to define me. And if I let it go, up and away, I'm not sure who I'll become or who I even am. But that can be disorienting, but it's also freeing and liberating to let go of that. What would happen if you just stopped caring about that one thing that's always bothering you? So this is something to think about. So let's see your advice. Strength. I love this card. This is, somebody asked me on the last video, the Magical Hours Tarot. I love it. I think it's amazing. It has a whimsy without being too much, And maybe that's a message there for some of you, to get whimsical but stay grounded. Okay. Strength as your advice. There's all the sunflowers. Let's get a little bit more. It's courage. It's becoming one with that part of you that just wants to live. Just wants to live as you are and who you want to become, to live in that way rather than to overthink everything. But I need more, Spirit. Financial security. So there's a piece around this, whether you already feel financially secure or you're striving towards it, that is related to everything we're talking about. It could be that you're holding Four of Pentacles, you're holding on to something because it keeps you financially secure, but you know that it's something that you need to release and you're scared of that because you need this. But there's something about it that's holding you back, right? Or it could be that you don't have financial security and you need to be strong and courageous during this time in order to really see the path that gets you to that kind of security that you're seeking. Can I get one more? Union. I was picking that up. There's a few of you here, you're having a conflict with someone else, and there's a lot of issues around money involved in this. Okay? And obviously those concerns are real and legitimate. We all have to pay our bills, but this is one of those things, right, that I was talking about that's been kind of put on us. Like, life is about money, which is a soul-sucking illusion that has become our reality. Now, do we still have to exist in it? Yeah. But we can't forget what our soul is also calling us to do. So if you follow your soul's calling, you'll get to this better place, okay? And I don't want to say that, though, without knowing Spirit. Hold on. Tell me about this. Yeah, this is the message I'm getting. Like, I want to tell you, hey, you're moving towards financial security and abundance, but I'm not really feeling that. And it doesn't mean that that's not happening, but Spirit doesn't want to focus on that. What Spirit is saying, Six of Swords and financial security, is there's something blocking you from some kind of soul destiny, from stepping into this beautiful reality that is just there waiting for you. And it's related to some kind of issue around or attachment to financial security. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there because I know it gets complicated depending on your situation. But you could really release yourself from this. Okay? Let's see. Tell me about the outcome here. So she's holding the moon again. You know, sometimes when we release something that we feel is keeping us safe, but we know is just tiring, it's exhausting us, it's not where our heart is, it's not where our passion is, but it's giving us some kind of safety. Sometimes the moment we release that, we realize what a prison that had become, like golden handcuffs. And we find another way, a better way to give ourselves security. But we have to be strong and courageous to take that chance. Especially in this world. Look, Ace of Pentacles. Thank you, Spirit. And once we take that chance, we see the possibility of how things could be different and otherwise. Dignity. That's it. Hold on to your dignity. If there's something that you're doing or you feel you need to do, but it's erasing your dignity or compromising it, Spirit's saying you can cut ties with that and find security in a different form or in a different opportunity. Now, regardless of what it is that is going on with you financially, I still feel like there's a huge message here that there's something magical going on. Spiritual, creative, that's showing you something new. Okay, Ace of Pentacles. What is this Ace of Pentacles, Spirit? Let go. First, you got to let go to find out. That's clearly what Spirit's saying. Some of you may be presented some kind of opportunity with financial security. Okay? But you don't feel like it's right for you, and you got to let it go. You got to stay true to yourself. For others of you, you have to let go of something else, maybe a relationship, a way of thinking, some pessimism around something that's holding you back, or maybe it's a job, I don't know. But when you let go of it, you receive the new energy that wants to come through. The new energy can't come through because you're already full and cluttered of this old paradigm that is just an illusion. So this message really is telling you that the energy is ripe for you to step into that reality that you know is there. And you are seeing it. You are perceiving it. It's not a mystery reality. You can sense it. You can feel it. It's there. But it takes a lot of courage and strength to let go, to cut ties with what's holding you back because you've become so familiar with it. So listen to the wind and pay attention to the spiders. Okay? This is a really opportune time for you. That's what I have. I hope that helped. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.